One thing's for sure, when you wear adult diapers, getting diaper rash can be an inconvenience to say the least. So let's discuss a few ways to be aware of when a diaper rash is beginning to form and how to address it once it does. Just a quick disclaimer. I'm not a doctor, I'm just a guy with experience wearing adult diapers and getting diaper rashes, so I do have some ideas on how you can handle them and get rid of them if they do occur for you. So if you're new to wearing adult diapers and you haven't experienced what a diaper rash feels like yet, there's going to be a few things you want to be aware of so that way you can tackle that issue once it arises. Usually one of the first things I notice when a rash is beginning to form is that I start to notice that the diaper becomes very uncomfortable to wear. Even when it gets just a little bit wet, you start to notice that wetness and you get very discomforted by it. If you find yourself fidgeting a lot and getting itchy in that sensitive area where the diaper is covered, that's usually one sign that you're starting to formulate a rash. Another sign you might be forming a rash is that you become far more sensitive to warm or hot temperatures when you're taking a shower or a bath. You'll notice that area feeling much more sensitive to variations in temperatures. And of course, one final sign that you're getting a rash is if the skin in the diaper area is becoming red or bumpy like acne. These are both signs of getting particular types of diaper rash. Now let's discuss some of the steps you can take when you feel a rash beginning to form, or once a rash has already formed and it's starting to get bad and you need to do something to handle it. The first thing you want to do is, of course, change more frequently. I know this isn't ideal in way of cost savings and keeping down waste, but it is something that's necessary when you have a rash forming. Once you get a very bad rash, they're hard to get rid of, so you want to do what you can to tackle the problem right away. Another common technique I like to use, which is really effective when it comes to getting rid of a rash, is giving your skin time to air dry. The reason we form the rash to begin with is because the skin is constantly wet, it's soaked in ammonia from the urine, and the skin starts to break down. So the next best thing you can do is to let your skin air dry by sitting out on an absorbent pad like this. This is actually an old cloth diaper. I don't really use as a cloth diaper. I use it as a pad to sit on. Anything absorbent like this, especially if it's reusable, is good to use. That way you can give your skin time to heal and actually give it some time and air dry. So this part is really specific to me and my skin. This is just the approach that I take. You may need to experiment with other approaches, but I definitely would recommend trying this approach as well. Whenever I do get a rash, I end up using a rotation of different types of creams and ointments. A lot of different types of diaper rash creams that you can find on the market they're usually zinc-based creams, and I find that those particular creams or pastes end up drying my skin out. They're really effective at relieving some of that irritation that comes with a rash, and they're really effective at helping get rid of the rash, but they also dry the skin out. So what I end up doing is I start with a layer of that in one diaper change, and then in the next change, I'll wipe that off and I'll use a layer of baby lotion to kind of help moisturize the skin a little bit. Then I'll use a layer of A&D ointment as well to help heal the skin, but also keep protecting it from getting further diaper rash. That's just my personal approach that I've found that works for me. There is actually this other diaper rash cream right here, which I will get from Amazon from time to time because it is one of the most effective creams that I have found. Another good thing to do is after taking a shower, instead of rubbing the area, pat it down so that way you're not irritating it further. It can be very tempting to do that because that can actually feel quite satisfying because it's kind of like a way of itching the skin a little bit, but it also will damage the skin further, so you kind of want to avoid doing that. Another thing to be aware of is sometimes a diaper rash can get so bad that it ends up turning into a yeast infection. I've had that happen before. They're very difficult to get rid of. If that does happen to you, or if you feel like that might be the case, you're going to want to see a doctor to help get that addressed. There may be some over-the-counter remedies, but I don't know of them and I don't feel like pushing them in this video. Basically, once it gets to that point where you're getting a yeast infection, or you have a severe rash that's lasting for several days, or if it's even lasting for weeks, at that point it's been way too long, you're not having success at taking care of it on your own, and you need to seek medical advice. Really, when it boils right down to it, the best way to treat adult diaper rash is to prevent yourself from getting it to begin with. For tips on how to prevent diaper rash, check out this video right here. Or you can check out this video that YouTube says is perfect just for you. Until next time, stay dry.